On April 12th, 1961, Yuri Gagarin became the fourth mammal species to orbit the Earth. He was preceded by a dog, Laika, a guinea pig, and some mice. Neil deGrasse Tyson, in his talk on April 17th, talks about our faulty memory when it comes to the space race and what really happened. He said in the USA the general feeling is we won the space race because we were the first to put humans on the moon. He puts this in perspective by showing the achievements of both the US and the Soviet Union during the time period of the space race. And I'm going to cover the major accomplishments by both nations in the time period from 1957 to 1969. Starting with the Soviet Union. First intercontinental ballistic missile, first satellite, first animal in Earth orbit, first rocket ignition in Earth orbit, first man-made object to escape Earth's gravity, first data communications to and from outer space, first man-made object to pass near the moon, first man-made objects in heliocentric orbit, first probe to impact the moon, first images of the moon's far side, first animals to safely return from Earth orbit, first probe launched to Venus, first person in space and in Earth orbit, first person to spend over 24 hours in space, who was also the first person to sleep in space, first dual-manned spacecraft, first probe launched to Mars, first woman in space, first multi-person crew, first EVA, first probe to hit another planet, first probe to make a soft landing and transmit from the surface of the moon, first probe in lunar orbit, first unmanned rendezvous and docking, first living beings to reach the moon, first docking between two manned craft in Earth orbit, which involves the exchange of crews. By contrast, the United States, first photograph of Earth from orbit, first orbital solar observatory, first reusable crewed spacecraft, though this was just a suborbital spacecraft, first Mars flyby, first orbital rendezvous, first orbital docking, first piloted orbital mission of another celestial body, first ever trans-Earth injection, first human on the moon, first space launch from a celestial body, and first rendezvous on the surface of a celestial body. As we can see, Russia overall had many more accomplishments, but we remember the moon. Neil deGrasse Tyson said that the militarization of space is inevitable because it involves access to limited resource as well as high ground, which always leads to conflicts, not peace. He went on to talk about what he called Apollo necrophilia, where, if we look at the first cell phone, which he said he's getting dates with that thing, or the first flight, which was the distance of a Boeing 757 wingspan, compared to now where we have the Airbus A380, where he said there should be a law preventing it from flying because it looks like an anaconda that swallowed a pig. Or ENIAC, one of the first major computers that took up a whole room to do what a calculator can do today. So he said, we don't really desire to have any of those, but we still worship Saturn V, a 32-story rocket that's pretty much a controlled bomb that's all fuel that can hold a tea party inside of a rocket nozzle. It's the only technology where we want the first of its kind, because all other technologies except it have moved forward. So, in the next section of this, I'll cover why Neil deGrasse Tyson thinks the U.S. hasn't moved forward in the areas of space exploration. And I want your opinion as well. Why is the Saturn V still so attractive when pretty much no other earlier technology is to us? Leave your ideas in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching.